Lehman.
Here.
Maher.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Stroman.
Here.
Pettigrew.
Here.
Seacrest. Bieberdorf.
Here.
Tamang.
Here.
Evans. Meyer. We have a quorum.
Thank you. As Father Brian Christensen comes up for the invocation, just a brief message. This past week, we lost a local young man to a tragic accident in a bus accident in Iowa. He played for Post 22, grew up here, Carter Tater Johnson. And one thing I was sharing with Councilor Stroman here was how powerful last night we had a Night the Light at the Fitzgerald Stadium, and all the people that showed up, the community members. It was very powerful and a great reminder that even in terrible tragedy, the good Lord can use it for good. So our prayers are with the Johnson family and all who loved them, and grateful for the response from the community to rally around them during this time. And it just goes to show how all of us can reach out to people in our lives and make an impact, whether it's somebody you know or not. And just want them to know that we're with them. With that, Father, if you're able and willing, would you please rise, and that'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's always remember that we're in the holy presence of God. Heavenly Father, source of all wisdom and Lord of every nation and people, we gather in your holy presence at the beginning of the City Council meeting. We give thanks for the dedicated service of our council members, for their willingness to offer their time, their talents, and their hearts for the good of our community. We are deeply grateful. Bless them for their sacrifice, their commitment to public service, and their desire to seek what is right and just. Pour out upon them the gifts of your Holy Spirit, wisdom in their deliberations, prudence in their judgments, courage in difficult decisions, and compassion for all whom they serve. May their discussions be marked by respect and attentive listening. May their decisions promote justice, protect the vulnerable, strengthen families, and foster peace and unity in our city. Guide their work so that it may truly serve the common good. Help them to look beyond personal interest or division and to act always with integrity, transparency, and humility. May their leadership reflect the example of faithful service taught by your Son, our Lord, Jesus Christ. We also ask your blessings upon the citizens of our community, especially as we celebrate 100 years since our founding. Stir in every heart a spirit of active engagement and shared responsibility. Inspire all people of goodwill to participate in our civic life, to vote, to volunteer, to speak with charity, to work together for the flourishing of our city. May we never grow indifferent to the needs of our neighbors, but instead build a community rooted in solidarity and hope. And trust this meeting and all our efforts to your loving providence. May all that is said and done here tonight give you glory and bring lasting goodness to the people whom they serve. We ask all these things through Christ our Lord. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We have Councilman Pettigrew is on the line, just so everybody knows. We'll be calling on him in a little bit. But before we get going, I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. Okay, we got a motion by Roberts with a second by Lehman to adopt the agenda. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Tonight we have a special presentation. Sean, if you want to make your way over to the podium regarding the Rapid City Police Department wellness from our, I think we got some exciting things to share tonight. So the floor is yours, Sean.
All right, thank you.
We got props tonight.
Props tonight. Yeah. Here we go. All right, thank you. Good evening. My name is Sean Holler, and I'm the Wellness Coordinator for the Police Department. Happy to be here with you today. I greatly thank the Mayor for giving us a little bit of time. We're here tonight to talk about Rapid City being designated as a cardiac-ready community. And so, if you recall, it's been about 6 months, but I came and I talked to the City Council and the Mayor about a group of hard chargers that were looking to come together from different organizations and volunteers to make Rapid City a cardiac-ready community. And I'm just happy and pleased to be here tonight to tell you that it's been 6 months and we've done it. So we are officially a cardiac-ready community. And this designation is brought to us by the South Dakota Department of Health and fully endorsed by the American Heart Association. This is a pretty big deal. Rapid City is the 21st city within South Dakota that has received this designation. And we're the biggest. It's kind of a big deal. And so we're here tonight to share with you what we've done and some things maybe we can do further in the future. So to start off, like, what does that mean that we are a cardiac-ready community? In essence, being a cardiac-ready community means we have all the best practices in place to prevent, respond to, and support after any type of cardiac incident. So we're giving our citizens the best chance possible of surviving a cardiovascular disease. And so this is really cool. This is a big deal. And one of the biggest things for it is, like, this is actually just the start. Like, we're not done. We have a much bigger vision, and our vision is really quite simple. We don't want anyone in Rapid City to die of a cardiac incident. We want everyone to survive. And so the way that we're going to do that moving forward from here is actually quite simple, and it's based off a simple ask that I have for you, Mr. Mayor, City Council members, citizens of Rapid City. It's actually pretty simple. I've got 3 little things that you can do to help in our cardiac-ready community. First and foremost, is learn hands-only CPR and build a cardiac emergency response plan. So a cardiac emergency response plan is just a simple document that states exactly what you'll do if a cardiac emergency happens. So this can be for your business, it can be for civic organizations, it can be for your church, it can be for your school, for your gym, it can even be for your house. It's just a simple documentation of how you will respond, because preparation saves lives. And hands-only CPR is the single best thing that anyone can do to help save a life. It's very simple and very quick to learn. Number 2 is download the Pulse Point app. So the Pulse Point app is just a simple free application that you can get on your phone, and it gives you an in-person document of all the cardiac emergencies that are happening within Rapid City. But more importantly, it gives you a bird's eye map of all the AED locations within Rapid City. So everybody knows that AEDs are that little cool device that you hook people up to and it saves lives. And this is important, but knowing the locations of these is more important. And big shout out to the fire department, because they were big stewards in pushing the Pulse Point app. And it makes a huge difference when we're talking about saving lives. And then number 3, the last, and I believe the easiest thing that you can do to support cardiac health in Rapid City is to like, follow, and share Heart Healthy Rapid City on Facebook. So this is our basic like community outreach area where we're hoping to connect with citizens and other organizations, all in support of cardiac trainings, events, and best practices that we can do for everybody, regardless of where you are, where you start, or where you want to be. And so those are the best 3 things that we hope that you can help support us with. And before I leave, I'd like to share one last thing with you. I don't know where you've been or what you've done, but if you have ever experienced, or if you've ever been around anyone at the time that they've experienced a cardiac emergency, you know that that is a very scary event. It's one of the scariest things people can deal with, because it's literally your body betraying you. And if you have the fortune to actually survive a cardiac emergency, you have to live with the knowledge that your body did betray you. It's one of the scariest things that can happen. And to build up that trust, it takes a lot of time. And for me personally, The thing that scares me the most, the thing that I have the most fear about, is losing my freedom in how I choose to live. And a lot of people that experience a cardiac emergency lose the life that they're used to. And so, what is Heart Healthy Rapid City all about? It's about instilling confidence. We want people to have confidence in their body. We want people to have confidence in their neighbors. We want people to have confidence that when time strikes, when strife happens, when emergency is at the becking call, that a Rapid City is ready to respond. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you for all your efforts in making that happen. Next, we will move on to general public comment, a time for members of the public to discuss or express concerns to the council on any issue not on the agenda. Action will not be taken at the meeting on any issue not on the agenda, except by placement on the agenda by unanimous vote of the council members present. You have 3 minutes each. We have a timer that goes up behind me here. We will begin, and I got quite a few here. So I will call a name, and I'll let the person know who's on deck. Emmett Reistroffer, you're up first, followed by Nevada Ellison.
Good evening, Emmett Reistroffer. I know I've come here before on some other issues. Tonight it's a little different for me. So when I first moved to Rapid City about 5 years ago, very fortunate. I was on the west side by Canyon Lake in a very quiet neighborhood. Recently just moved to like the Elks Golf Course neighborhood, also very quiet. I'm very, very fortunate for that. Long story short, I was out doing my civic engagement, going door to door on something, and had met a lot of good folks that live on Diamond Ridge, and I know everyone's aware of the situation, but I guess tonight my message is, as much as it's for the leaders of the city, it's really for the citizens and the community. We've got a really serious problem. I saw it when I moved to the new side of town for myself. I put Menards in my GPS, took me through the neighborhood, made no sense at all. I was still trying to figure out what's the best way to get into the main part of town with where I live. And it's a shortcut through a neighborhood. So we're growing very, very fast, and that means growing pains. I know my interactions with the planning department have been phenomenal. We've got some dedicated folks to really helping this planning, but it's just happening so fast. I'm just here. We brought our signs. We went out Saturday to raise awareness. We saw burnout marks on the street from Saturday morning, the day we showed up. So it happened just a couple hours before we got there. Highway traffic is going through this neighborhood. And so we don't know what the solutions are. We just know what the problem is. We did create a neighborhood letter and just looked, obviously Anamosa Street's the true long-term solution. And there's probably some hurdles above my pay grade. I don't know what's going on there. But maybe there's some temporary things, flashing lights. Some people like speed bumps, some people don't. I don't know. I do want to thank the police department for coming out and bringing that speed trailer. And as much as, this is a call of concern, I also just want to thank the city because I couldn't believe it. In less than a week of organizing this safety awareness event, police came out. The traffic director came out. We sent follow-up emails, heard back. I mean, this community cares. I'm also guilty as charged. I'll just kind of end on my 30 seconds. A fine police officer gave me a speeding ticket last year, and I actually went the route. You have the option with iDrive.com. They let you do a diversion. You can take a driver safety class. I wanted to keep my insurance rates low and not get in trouble because I had a company car. I encourage everyone, take those driver safety classes. You take it when you're a teenager. When you're my age, you forget a lot of stuff. So we're just asking folks, please drive safe and slow down. I saw it firsthand, and
Thanks, Emmett.
I think some neighbors want to share concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Nevada, you're up next, followed by, looks like Mason Schumacher.
Yeah. My name's Nevada. So you guys got a lot on your plate. TIFs, chickens, data centers. Last thing you want to hear about is the medical cannabis stuff. But I'm here. And we're the small company that's still fighting. We had a lottery at the beginning of this thing, which turned into a raffle, and we didn't draw one. We're okay with that. I'm a big advocate for rules, and the ordinance was not applied fairly to our company. One company drew 7 licenses, opened 2. In the course of a year they had. City ordinance and state said that. They didn't open them. And they should have went down the queue. And in 16th position, while they were out of compliance with these other licenses, they drew another one. Now I had an idea. We can fix it. If a cultivation in Rapid City is in good standing for 2 years, let's give them a dispensary in the green zone, so there's no conditional use permit. And I think that's fair. You know, the world we live in right now, corporations control everything. They control the media that we watch. They control our food. They control our politicians. When does a small guy get a shot? You know, we can't expect it to happen on a federal level if we don't do it on a local level. So we hope that we can continue talks and come up with some sort of resolution here in the next couple months. And I'm not going to waste you guys' time anymore coming in here for the medical cannabis stuff, because you have a lot on your plate and you guys are all doing a great job. And we are grateful for the communication of some of you online. There's a lot of people interacting, and we hope that we can continue these talks. And we are the small company, and we're still fighting. And we hope that you guys can see that and help us out a little bit. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Nevada. Mason, you're up next, followed by Ron Duval.
Hello, councilmen and councilwomen. This is Mason Schumacher. Some of you might recognize me, some of you might not, and that's okay. A little bit about me. I am a member of the U City Council, but tonight I'm just speaking as a citizen of Rapid City, I guess. And what I'm here to talk about a little bit tonight is chickens. You know, the previous gentleman just said that that's a thing that's on your agenda, and I want to talk a little bit about what I learned and how I can maybe help sway some of the people that are a little questioning about this. So I know, Mayor Solomon, you talked to the U City Council and the Student School Board yesterday, as well as Ms. Meyer, on this, and you know, you made a really honest, you gave a powerful statement to us about how like honesty is really important to people, and how like the truth can go a long ways, especially in a big era of misinformation. So what I wanted to kind of bring today is like a little bit of an honest approach to this. So what I learned in the U City Council and being a liaison to the City Sustainability Committee is about this hen ordinance that I believe Councilman Tamang put on the agenda, was that, so chickens, specifically hens, so what I learned is that they're actually very quiet. So I own a dog, and he's pretty vocal. And a lot of my neighborhood owns dogs, and they're also very vocal. And what I learned is that chickens are actually a lot quieter than dogs when they're maintained. Now, when they're getting pestered and bothered, they're a lot louder. But what I also learned is the cost of a coop. So that can range pretty wildly. You know, you can get really cheap ones, but they won't be as safe, and that's part of the ordinance, how they have to be predator-proof. But you can get really expensive one, which I probably wouldn't recommend doing for a first-time owner. And also the time commitment. A lot of people believe that the time commitment for owning chickens is pretty intense. But, you know, if you own any animal, 1 or 2 dogs, cats even, you kind of have to maintain those guys, because they're going to let you know if they're unhappy, and the same way chickens do too. So I guess what did I learn from some independent research is fertilizer. You know, you can't use dog waste as fertilizer, but chicken waste you can, and I think that's really cool for Rapid City as a whole. I'm a gardener. My family's been a gardener for a long, long time, and I think that'd be really sweet so I don't have to buy fertilizer, because as a lot of gardeners know, fertilizer is expensive, and that's not something you want to spend a lot of money on your hard-earned paycheck. Eggs, you know, eggs is a really awesome thing, and they can be pretty pricey as well. You know, we've seen those prices shoot up and down, and they kind of bounce all over the place. And I think that hens specifically, they lay eggs for you, and you just have to keep them happy and fed, and then you have free eggs. I guess some common myths, while I use my last 30 seconds here, is property value. You know, Mr. Solomon, you talked a lot about property value and how a lot of people with like the recent tips think that property value is going to shoot up with all of these things. And chickens are one of those things that people are like, oh, property value is going to shoot up with this. Well, it really doesn't. You know, a lot of major cities, New York, Chicago, they all have ordinance where they can use hens. And their property value is already pretty crazy, but it doesn't really affect that much with hens. So I guess what I wanted to say here is, you know, I look at this with an open mind, and don't look at this so negatively, because hens can be a really powerful thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mason. the future looks bright, obviously. Ron Duval, followed by Andy Lees. Thank you, Andy, for telling me how to pronounce your name, by the way. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, Ron Duvall here. Hear about the traffic on Diamond Ridge. I had met to it. I had met with the police, I think Mike over there, Mr. Tice. Just wanted to stress the importance of safety. We moved in there when there was just 3 homes on that side of Diamond Ridge, so we've watched it kind of develop. We all knew when we were going there, when we bought the home, that the whole area was going to be developed by phases. What we didn't know is there was going to be no roads. So since we've moved in 21, we just keep watching apartment complex after apartment complex after apartment complex, homes, homes, homes. All that traffic is diverted through Diamond Ridge. It's 2 cars have been hit, a dog's been hit. It is only a matter of time before someone's child is hit. It's a guarantee. I'm not trying to be dramatic. It's gonna happen. There are children, everyone knows they're not supposed to play in the roads, but everyone also knows kids do kid things. They follow basketballs, whatever. I just want to stress the point and go on record saying I really think before the next time we start building, because I'm all about growth, but roads first, buildings later, because the traffic it's bad. Don't really have much to say. I just want to stress the point of safety. I just don't want to see someone's child get hit because people have to park their cars on the sidewalks because of all the traffic that goes through. There's some people that walking their dogs, kids, got to walk in the street to go around that. And it's just a recipe for disaster. We've seen many near misses. Just last week, wife and I, just up the street, heard the screeching of the brakes. And it was a kid chasing a basketball. They were playing, almost got hit. I just don't want to see that happen to somebody. And that's about it. But I've appreciated the police came out, the public works, everyone. It's been fantastic. I got no complaints. I just really want to stress something needs to be done before something tragic happens unnecessarily. I'll leave it to better minds to figure out how, but I just, roads first, buildings later. Thank you.
Thank you. Andy, you're up next, followed by Roberta Harmon.
Evening, everyone. My name is Andy, and I work in a field where I have people that I work with that are either homeless or on the verge of being homeless. And so I kind of wanted to just bring some information to the table that hopefully will be received. I actually have some pamphlets. I didn't make enough because I don't know how many people were going to be here, but if anyone's willing to look at them, I have them available. Whoever, if that's okay. Thank you. So I guess my main concern is the homeless women in the community. I have a friend who's a senior citizen and she has nowhere to go. She's currently sleeping out in the outdoors right now. I'm concerned about her safety as well as others experiencing homelessness. As the 2025 pit count came out, there were 422 homeless people in Rapid City. I joined the group this year to do the pit count, and those numbers are not available at this time. They hopefully will be available in April or May. In the packets that I provided, there's information related to different programs within Rapid City, who they either assist with the homeless or those who need support in the community. I am also provided some information in regards to the Emergency Solutions Grant Program. I believe that's been implemented here in Rapid, but I don't know for positive. Just as a reminder though, that grant is used for street outreach, rapid rehousing assistance, emergency shelter, and homelessness prevention. I also provided a couple different buildings that if we were able to finance some places for the homeless to go, particularly women, because I wasn't able to find anywhere for this particular lady to go. With all the resources we have in Rapid, there isn't any that I could find. So I guess I just put together some resources of some places that are for sale. They're in what I feel are pretty good areas for that type of project. So I just want to bring that to your attention, and I'm just, concerned about friends and family that are out there on the streets. So, thank you.
Thank you. Roberta, you're up next, followed by William Wagner.
Hello, Mayor, City Council. Thanks for listening. I had put on my thing that it was about Journey On, but it's actually along with Journey On, but about street outreach and homelessness as well. City Councilman, Mr. Tamang, if you have not had a chance to invite Lieutenant Tim Doyle out to coffee and listen to all of his experience, I would recommend that. He's been doing this for a very long time. And I see there's a social media thing that goes on between the two of you, but I would recommend coffee together. So I would like to read something from social media. This was posted in the Sioux Falls area. And probably a lot of folks that have done outreach probably recognize the name. So a lady named Emma had said, I met someone recently who I can't stop thinking about. His name is Leo Yellowboy. He's 78 years old, a Native American Vietnam veteran, and he's currently homeless. Leo served our country during the Vietnam War. Now at 78, he's living without stable shelter. He has lost both of his legs and his fingers, and every day is a battle just to survive. No one who gave years of their life in service should have to live like this. What really says everything about him is this: he doesn't ask anyone for anything, not once. When I gave him a bag of supplies, instead of keeping it for himself, he handed things out to other homeless people around him. Even with almost nothing, he's still giving. That tells you a lot about his character and the kind of man he is. He needs help getting cleaned up, medical care. Sorry, I'm working off my phone. He needs help getting cleaned up, medical care, and most importantly, a safe place to stay. He deserves dignity, he deserves warmth, he deserves peace. I'm reaching out because I don't know how to do this alone. If anyone knows of resources for homeless veterans, emergency housing, veteran assistance programs, medical support organizations that can step in quickly, please help. If you have ever said we support our veterans, this is the chance to show it. Well, this is a response because she asked for a response from Miss Kathy Harris. And she said, and Leo is in Sioux Falls, and Kathy responded, hello, I have been helping Leo for the years. Most recently, he got kicked out of 3 apartments in Yankton and the assisted living home he was in. Kicked out of Bishop Dudley House, Gospel Mission, and the hospital. He is a chronic alcoholic and lost his limbs due to poor health from diabetes. There's quite a bit more, but what I wanted to say is there's always a story, but we should get to the bottom of the story because Leo's is quite large, his story. We spent a lot of time and resources on Leo when he was here. And sometimes we have to stop that recycling cycle, and Journey On is one of those programs that does help with that. When I spoke to some of the folks that were working with Journey On last week, I asked how many people they had in treatment, what were they working toward, and so the recycling has to stop, and we have to move forward, and there's a number of programs that are. But Journey On spoke about partnering with One Heart at Atrium, and if no one's aware of that, it's a very intense treatment program that's amazing.
All right, Roberta, thank you. William, you're up next, followed by Mark Millar.
How y'all doing, city government? I'm coming tonight because I'm a huge opposition of the CBD grant program going to the baseball field, the $505,000. I want to see if we could redirect that money, the $505,000, to a committee of citizens for a healthy homes and infrastructure grant instead. The Community Development Block Program funds towards synthetic turf and dugout upgrades at Red Penskett Field. While youth recreation is valuable, federal HUD guidelines prioritize decent housing and public health over aesthetic park upgrades. Using $500,000 for a single ball field while local homeowners face failing infrastructure does not meet the most urgent needs of our low to moderate income residents. I propose Committee of Citizens Healthy Homes and Infrastructure Grant. This program would provide approximately 72 grants of $7,000 each directly to qualifying homeowners. Eligible activities would include critical infrastructure, replacement of private sewer laterals and water service lines. The building envelope would be roof replacement, siding, energy efficient, window upgrades. Essential systems is high efficiency heating, furnaces, and water heater replacement. And the Committee of Citizens, the COC oversight model, would, to ensure transparency and fulfill HUD citizen participation requirements. This program would be guided by a Committee of Citizens. Keep losing my spot. The model empowers residents to identify the most critical blight issues in their own neighborhoods, providing a bottom-up rather than a top-down approach to the city development. Infrastructure priority. Rapid City is currently undergoing massive water reclamation projects. This grant helps residents fix the last mile of that infrastructure, and that's their own homes. Fixing a roof or heating system prevents low to moderate income families from being forced out of their homes due to code violations or lack of habitability. I urge the Common Council to table the red Penske Field allocation and instead direct staff to draft a program for the COC Healthy Homes and Infrastructure Grant. Let us prioritize safety, warmth, and health of our citizens over synthetic turf. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Mr. Millar, you're up next, and that will be the final speaker request we have tonight for general public comment.
How you doing? My name is Mark Millar. You know me as the no-TIF guy, I suppose. I'd like to stand in support of these people here from Diamond Ridge. Among many things we found out about the city's TIF process, I think one of the flaws is the amendment process. Now, you guys just dealt with this. You came up with an idea, you gave the developer an amendment to his original plan to fix the drainage issues and to extend Homestead over to North Valley Drive. North Valley Drive, which the city forced into annexation and has always been a blind neighborhood without street access. But these folks' street comes off of Homestead and goes north to Anamosa, I believe. And I can't believe how narrow those streets are. Is that your street, right? Yeah. So the amendment they allowed for that new road that Hanny Shafee's blazing across that prairie out there, we could all see. The next step for the city is to turn Valley Drive, to upgrade Valley Drive going south. I don't believe they have any plans to deal with Valley Drive going north. So the people that are cutting through your neighborhood off of Homestead onto Anamosa are going to continue to cut through your neighborhood and get on Anamosa. Because going south on what these guys have got planned for the feeder out of your neighborhood isn't going to solve the problem. I'm really discouraged. I heard another one, and I've never been on your sites. I know I've showed you guys dozens of times, and I'm going to have to get diligent and get on these sites and see what I can see in these plans. But amongst this TIF stuff, I also heard, I believe that TIF that South Dakota Stockmen's Association was kind of opposed to downtown, them new buildings that are being built downtown. Did I hear that there was an amendment to take away underground parking that was supposed to be involved with that TIF? And if I'm wrong, I'll apologize now. But in the downtown area, a TIF that's going to support the people of the city, isn't parking our biggest issue? Why would you take away something that was going to provide parking for that spot? So, one more. I really think you guys need to open up and give the citizens an opportunity to see how this TIF process really works from the beginning to the end. I'm going to go back on the Liberty Land TIF. I still want you to explain to me on your proposed sales tax that you would recoup how that business was going to do $500,000 worth of sales every day of the year, and every 10th day they were expected to do $1 million in sales. That was your minimum projection.
Thank you. And that will conclude general public comment. And we will move on to non-public hearing items 2 through 20 and open public comment for items 2 through 19. I have no speaker request forms for specific items, so we will close the public comment and move on to consent items 2 through 19. Would the council wish to remove any item for separate consideration? Councilor Lehman.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 15.
And we have item 9 pulled for Councilor Pettigrew, who's on the phone. Councilor Maher.
I would like to pull number 9 as well,
Okay.
and also number 18.
Okay. Any other items? All right. Otherwise, I will entertain a motion to approve items 2 through 19 with the exception of 9, 15, and 18. Got a motion by Bieberdorf with a second by Tamang. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to item 9, resolution number 2026-001, a resolution amending the 5-year plan of projects and programs to be funded by the Vision account by allocating comprehensive plan funds for the airport terminal project and a new fleet maintenance and fire facility. First one in the queue is Councilor Stroman.
Are you going to go to Rod first?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I just saw your name on here. Mr. Pettigrew, if you're on the line, we'll go ahead and let you go first, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to make a few comments on this item. Everyone knows how obsessed and passionate I am about this airport. I want to give thanks to Senator Rounds and Senator Thune for getting us $20 million to keep this project moving forward. And I want to make everyone aware that when the feds look at funding, they want to see local participation. I don't know if Patrick Dame is in the audience or not, but local participation is not just the airport. I think the airport itself has put in $18 to $20 million. By local participation, they want to see city funding. And so this brings forward $44 million to keep this project moving forward, and it's greatly needed and greatly appreciated. I guess the intent of my participation tonight is to thank Councilman Stroman, Roberts, Lehman, and Tamang. We've met as a group to get this thing moving forward. I've been on the council now for 3 years, and we haven't been able to make any forward motion. And we met with Daniel and came up with a plan. I want to thank Councilman Lehman. He was the brains behind this, did the math, and showed us how to get this done. And without these individuals, I don't think this project would have moved forward. And the same would go for the maintenance facility. Again, that's been on the radar for 3 years. Nothing's happened. Again, we met and moved as a team to try and move both of these projects forward so the city can grow and be proud of our airport and have a maintenance facility that will improve the quality of lives of those who are working out there. So that's the extent of my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pettigrew. Next, we'll go to Councilor Stroman.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move to approve, and if I can get a second, retain the floor.
All right, we got a motion by Stroman with a second by Roberts to approve. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I'd like to echo what Councilman Pettigrew said. He has been tenacious about the airport, and we've been talking about the airport expansion since, well, at least since I started on council in 2019. And it's time to bring this forward, and I think we have a good plan. I agree with what Rod said. Lance kind of came up, said, okay, here's what we can do. And we did have a meeting with Patrick and came up with this way to move forward. And I also want to thank our senators, Thune and Rounds, and Congressman Johnson for what they've done to bolster our funding, but we still needed this additional plan to move forward. I think this is a no-brainer. I think that we should have unanimous consent from the council. I know the mayor is behind us. He sent us a very nice email. And I think that the maintenance facility also is something that's been talked about. It's really necessary. And I think we have a sound plan in place to get that taken care of too. And I did ask Airport Director Dame and Public Works Director Tice if they would make some brief comments if I could yield the rest of my time to them.
Sure thing.
Thank you. I yield.
Mr. Dame, we'll have you go up to the podium while we wait for you. Actually, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Mr. Tice to talk about the maintenance facility.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, first off, let me just say thank you for the consideration on this. I do think I've been here for a decade now. I shouldn't say I think, I know I've been here for a decade now. We've been in the works for 9 years on this project. So when you start to go into, it takes a long time to get a major project like this off the ground and moving. And as we looked at some of the challenges that we had in the first year that I was here, and then also the growth that we've been seeing over the last decade, we've proven ourselves, we've proven the model that we had correct. We've proven that we can change how the airport grows out there with marketing to people to come here. And all of that has contributed to fantastic growth that we've had over the last 10 years. Some of the years have been more stressful than others. We did grow by over 22% in '24. That was a tough growth period. And we've been continuing to peck away at some of the projects on the terminal. Now this is a time where it's really going to hopefully give us the ability to move on the gate area piece. Project 1 really took care of the heartbeat of the airport, the movement of passengers and baggage, and also the electricity, water, and those kinds of items that really go into the heart of running the expansion to it. There aren't many people that really want to do that kind of project because it's not a flashy project. Plus, it doesn't get you a lot of extra revenue to the terminal. When you start to look at the gate areas where it's at, in Project 2 advances the gate area and sets us up for the better part of the next 25 to 40 years. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Tice, our Public Works Director, we'll go to you. Stand by and let me get you. All right, you should be good.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, council members. This maintenance facility was brought to my attention the first days that I came into my position with the city here recently. And I had the opportunity to tour the facility, and I know most of the council members also had the opportunity to tour the facility over the last probably 6 months to a year. We've got some very dated facilities at that maintenance facility today. It's really outgrown, our equipment has outgrown the size of that facility. So as a result of that, we've got things like snow plows that we cannot get into the shops to do maintenance on. So we've got mechanics out there laying in the snow, trying to work on equipment during snowstorms and things like that. We just toured the facility again last week and looked at a couple other areas of it. While we're in there touring the facility, we've got mechanics that have vehicles up on hoists. Because of the height of those vehicles, the mechanics are still hunched over underneath those vehicles trying to work underneath them. So the facility really is, they've made do with it, but it is certainly not functional anymore with the size of the equipment that we've got. The other thing that I think is unique about this facility is we keep calling it a maintenance facility. It's really, I'm terming it more of a maintenance and operations facility at this point. Many of our facilities were bursting at the seams with employees that are stacked on top of each other, don't have room to work. So part of this is the partnership that we're doing not only with Public Works and the needs to do maintenance on these facilities, but also other groups like the fire department and Parks and Recreation. So as we started looking at this facility, we started to look at what are the needs across the entire city infrastructure and departments, and quickly realized that many other groups are sharing the same struggles that we were in Public Works. And so as a result of that, we have looked at this facility as a more functional area for many different groups and brought those teams together, and we're able to partner on a facility that will help all of us grow into the future and provide a more suitable space for us. And so as we look at this, instead of building 5 or 6, maybe $5 to $10 million facilities, we're looking at building one campus that will encompass all of our needs in one location, and as a result save the taxpayers dollars of not building multiple facilities around the city.
Well said. Thank you, sir. Next, we're going to go, Mr. Stroman, did you have anything to add to that? Okay. Kevin Maher, you're up next.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say that I do support this. It's $44 million for the airport. I think it's very important that the city demonstrates its commitment to the airport and being part of the capital stack. I also support the maintenance facility. It's $39 million. It just makes so much sense. And think of the opportunity we have with that property. We can probably turn that property over or sell it at a reasonable cost to the School of Mines, and then build a bike trail across the highway and the railroad tracks. So I think it's a great thing, but I do have a question for Finance Director Ainsley. I mean, this is $5 million a year to service these bonds for these two projects. So what does that do to our vision fund going forward? And when I looked at the spreadsheets, they really didn't show some of those projects that were just approved a year ago showing funding. So I'm just curious if we have what this does to our vision fund, because we're already half the vision fund already is going to service bonds. And then I wondered, what is our bonding authority as a city?
All right, to answer those questions, we're going to go to Finance Director Daniel Ainsley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For the current round, this allocation would not make a difference for the current round. So the projects that have been included or have already received an award, that money is still allocated for that. The funding that we would use to repay the bonds for the airport terminal, and actually we're looking at a lease to own financing arrangement for the maintenance facility. But the annual payments for that would come out of the comprehensive plan portion of our vision fund that was allocated in the round 8 allocation. And so it does take up almost all of the remaining funds that are available for that. So we actually would have just under about $2 million left in that. For future rounds, if you look based off of our current debt load that we have that's being serviced out of the Vision Fund, as well as these new projects, in 2030, we'd be projected to have about $5.4 million available for a Vision project in 2030. And then that number continues to grow to 2034. We'd have about 7.4 million left. And so that would mean in round 9, total available funds would be at about 31.4 million. And so it definitely would not leave a lot of available funds for round 9, but there still would be funds available for the purposes that the council at that time would be deeming as the most appropriate for it. As far as our total bond or debt capacity, that would not be for utilities, because that kind of comes from a different allocation if we do surcharges, which is what we are now trying to do, so that it's not a general obligation of the city. Instead, it's actually, it has a dedicated funding stream for it, which is our utility accounts. So if you look at our available debt limit, you want to move on to another, I'll pull up the spreadsheet that has the exact number, if I can come back to that in a minute. Sorry.
Yep, fair enough. Mr. Maher?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, and Daniel's looking it up, but what is the bonding limit or the authority that the city has? Because I don't know what bonds are out there other than the ones for the Summit Arena. I don't know if we're using any bonds for the water reclamation. So I'm just kind of curious, but with these two bond issues, where are we towards our limit?
Okay. We'll go to the next speaker. We'll bring Mr. Ainsley back in to give you that precise number. But Mr. Roberts, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. And correct me if I'm wrong, Daniel, but I think we're bonding 44 million. We're not bonding for the facility itself. So I just wanted to come back to the maintenance facility, because this has been something that's been talked about forever. And Dane, the airport expansion was talked about before you went out there. It's been talked about ever since I've been on the council. And we knew that was something that would have to come eventually, because Rapid City is never going to stop growing. So I'm excited about that, but I'm more excited about the maintenance facility, because this is actually, in my opinion, is going to save the taxpayers some money over the long run, because we are we are putting all of these different departments together in one area, and we're getting rid of a lot of redundancy that we have in these areas right now. So I'm very excited about that, but I'm not as excited as I am about the cost of it. Because when the cost of this originally came before us, and a few of us on the council said $72 million in the existing location where we would be tied to no growth in the future, that does not make sense. So we started reaching out, and we reached out to the private sector, and the private sector is doing it roughly at about half the cost of what we had allocated, or we thought we were going to allocate for this project. So to me, that's very exciting, saving the citizens of Rapid City $30+ million on this project. I think that it's it's great that we have the quality, competent people in the city right now that we have, and I have to give a big shout out to our Public Works Director and also to our Finance Director, because they helped us as council people and the mayor do our jobs to be able to save the taxpayers millions, tens of millions of dollars. And I am very proud of that. Might be one of the most proud things I've done in 15 years.
Oh, that's high praise.
So, anyway, thank you.
All right. Thank you. We're going to go to Councilor Sechrist next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just kind of wanted to echo some of the sentiments said today. I'm very pleased to see both of these projects on the agenda. I think in the spirit of where we were imagining our comprehensive planning priority items a couple years ago when we were discussing the changes to the Vision Fund ordinance, to me this just resonates extremely well with exactly what we saw as a vision at that time. Funding projects that truly impact our entire community in meaningful ways, even though they're not perhaps projects that are brought forward from a citizen-led committee. These are still extremely meaningful. Our airport expansion has significant economic development ramifications, and so I'm just extremely proud to support this and want to thank the gentleman that put in the effort to make this happen on the council, and also just shout out to Director Dame and Director Ainsley and Director Tice for your efforts in this to make this come forward. So it's extremely meaningful. I think this is going to resonate for years to come. I know that it will take our Vision Fund future allocations pretty minimal for the next couple of rounds, but I do think that these projects are extremely worthwhile, and thank you.
Director Ainsley is looking to come back in the queue with an answer to the question posed earlier.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I also do have a final number for the remaining funds that are available for comprehensive plan improvements for the current cycle. That's $2.2 million would still be available for various capital projects that are related to the comprehensive plan. And then there's just under $17 million that would be available for the strategic growth revolving fund. And that has been an item that I believe the city engineer as well as community development are working for a plan to bring forward to the council probably in a few months or so, as far as how perhaps we could be allocating those funds. But as far as our debt load, our total debt load is a function of our total assessed valuation our total assessed valuation of a community. And since our total valuation has increased dramatically, our total available limit is quite high. So when I say this, by no means am I trying to state that we should be looking for additional projects or additional debt or anything else. Our total available debt limitations outside of utilities is $2.5 billion. And so again, I'm not suggesting that we would actually look for additional projects to service that, but we do have more than sufficient capacity that if an emergency were to arise, that we could issue additional bonds.
Spoken like a true finance director. Don't get it.
Yeah.
Real quick before we go to the vote, I want to thank the council. I'm not sure I've seen this level of engagement on this in my time on council, and even on my time as mayor. I do want to thank the council for all their work. Obviously, our staff have been working on this for a long time. A lot of this we've known we needed for quite some time. I've stated it, of course, in budget addresses and things like that, and of course the changes to the Vision Fund and how we allocated those. The Vision Fund's called the Civic Improvement and Economic Development Fund, and this is truly that. And I appreciate everybody's efforts on this. These are generational things that will impact us far beyond our times on the council. And I really hope that the staff recognizes their value in the working conditions. Obviously, our airport's our greatest economic engine in this community, and actually for the entire state of South Dakota. Our investment in the airport makes South Dakota better. We drive a lot of revenue to the state of South Dakota, and that airport's a big reason why. And so, of course, want to thank the federal level. Even the states started to come in just a little bit. We'd like to see more, but at least we've seen some progress after how many years of working on that, Patrick. But truly grateful for the council and to hear the words that were shared tonight. And I can tell you, Mr. Pettigrew's like, hey, when are we going to get this airport done? When are we going to get this airport done? He certainly did fight for it. And but all of you, I think every one of you have asked about this and has been trying to get that dollar amount down. And I'm hearing about Lance's wizardry over there. Good job to Councilor Lehman. But big things like big vision requires teamwork. A vision you can accomplish all by yourself isn't much of a vision. But I really think we saw that here with the city tonight. And this council should be very proud of them for the work that they did and the vision that they had for the future. So thank you. With that, we'll go ahead and go to a vote on number 9. The motion on the floor is to approve. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. We will move on to item 15, approve resolution number 2026-017, a resolution levying assessment for abatement of nuisances. I believe Lance Lehman chimed in on this.
You are the last party in the conference.
I think Mr. Pettigrew's out of here.
I think he just lost his spot. Conference begins.
Thank you, Mayor. The finance director asked me to pull this item to remove something.
All right. Lance Lehman's yielding time over to the finance director.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Councilor. Just wanted to let the council know that a couple hours ago, one of the property owners didn't pay their assessment of $310, and so I would ask that tax ID 27137 Idaho Housing Finance Association would be removed. The remaining 21 properties would remain.
Do I have a motion to that effect? Second. And a motion by Roberts with a second by Tamang to make the motion as recommended by the finance director. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Item 18, authorize the Minaloosahan Senior Center to enter into a sublease of space with Meals on Wheels of Western South Dakota. Councilor Maher, you pulled this item.
Yeah, I pulled this item just because I had a concern, and I see the executive director is here tonight. Maybe she can respond when I ask my question. But the city currently owns that property. It's a very valuable property. We lease it to the Minaloosahan Center for $1 a year, I believe. And now they want us to approve a contract where they can sublease the kitchen for $3,000 a month. It just doesn't. So we're giving this nonprofit a break, and they're turning around and charging another nonprofit, Meals on Wheels, $3,000 a month to use the kitchen for 7 hours a day. I just wondered if, I don't know if you can answer that concern. I just don't think it's right for us to give one nonprofit something and then have them make money off of another nonprofit.
Well, that's up to them if they'd like to address it, choose to or not. We have Ms. Armstrong and George is here too from Meals on Wheels. Would you like to address Mr. Maher, please?
Hello, I'm Laura Armstrong. I'm the interim executive director for Minaloosahan Senior Center. I have invited all of you to come to the Minaloosahan Senior Center. 7 out of the 10 have accepted, and the remaining 3, that invitation is still open. This all began because my understanding is The current Meals on Wheels kitchen has now, the property is being sold, and rather than them kind of wring their hands and throw their hands up, we got together and said, well, how do we solve this to make sure that seniors and veterans are fed in our community? So for the last 50 years, Meals on Wheels has been in that kitchen. It was one of 3 projects that came out of the federal disaster relief funds from the flood. So that was the Civic Center, the Minaluzon Senior Center, and of course the Meals on Wheels kitchen. So in order to keep meals going, we decided to explore consolidating. We have had a partnership now for about 30 years, and currently 400 meals a month are coming out of Minaluzon Senior Center. So most of the meal preparation has been at the main Meals on Wheels kitchen. Overflow over at Minaluzon. So if they are going to move over, it is anticipated that we're going to go from 400 meals a month to approximately 4,800 meals a month. This is a 50-year-old building. And of course, this will make demands on our infrastructure, water, sewer, electricity, gas. So we're working out a partnership. We have been negotiating this, I want to say, since about November. We did include the city attorney as well to make sure that the legal language was drafted properly and to make sure that it was a mutually beneficial agreement. And basically, as the city attorney has been saying all along, this is just a basic space agreement. And we just want to make sure that there aren't any gaps in services. And we just want to keep people fed. I'll defer to George Larson for further comments.
Very well spoken. George Larson, Executive Director, Meals on Wheels, Western South Dakota. We're in a time crunch here with our kitchen is being decommissioned over at the River Ridge location end of June. We've been working through various members of the City Council and the city legal team and things like that to try and make sure that we can get this process going as quickly as possible. It was suggested to us that having some level of rent above the $500 a month we're currently doing would be a way to facilitate, to ensure that actually would be palatable to the city. We have more than willing to make sure that all the utility costs that we are incurring to the Minaluzon are incurred by Meals on Wheels, and so we've kind of put that into the agreement. But yeah, we're just looking to be able to serve the 250,000 meals a year in Rapid City and beyond that currently we're producing to make sure that can continue past June, end of June, when our current kitchen is decommissioned.
Mr. Maher?
Well, thank you. I mean, I think the Minaluzon is a great facility, and Meals on Wheels, we all support Meals on Wheels. It just didn't seem right to me that the city is giving the Minaluzon rent for $1 a year, and now you're going to pay $36,000 a year just to use their kitchen. And it just seems like it just didn't make sense to me.
Well, Mr. Maher, I imagine their expenses are going up as a result.
Well, yeah, but you're not paying for the remodeling, is Meals on Wheels paying
There's
for the
no
remodeling?
remodeling whatsoever.
Yep, where Meals on Wheels is taking up the cost of electrical connections that we're going to need to move our existing
Right.
clearances in there. And we are also looking at picking up most of the expenses for the utility increases that we're looking at doing in the space.
When you look at the contract,
Right.
it says you'll pay $3,000 a month in rent, plus you're going to pay for the utilities that you use.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, that was a recommendation from the city at some point.
okay, thank you.
Councilor Roberts.
Thank you very much. And I think this is a great partnership opportunity. I think that it works well for you because you're only moving basically across the street. And, I think that there has to be some kind of compensation because there's going to be wear and tear on this building. I mean, all of a sudden they're going to have this huge amount of food going in and out of there, on a daily basis. And, if something happens, we have a very strange lease with Minnelusahan. We have for many years, and I've recommended that the lease be upgraded many times over the past. But they are responsible for most everything there, and we only give them a very small stipend every year for their operations. So and I don't know, in the agreement, I don't know about the kitchen equipment, I don't know, but right now they're going to be using Minnelusahan's kitchen equipment. Well, if a commercial stove goes out, that's $20,000 or $30,000. I mean, somebody has to pay for it. Are we going to do a special, yeah, no, I'm thinking more like the city picking up that cost at that point, because it is our building. And I think that I think it's worked out well for both parties. I saw when it first came in, and they just wanted to do what they originally had, and I actually didn't think it was fair. And as a real estate broker, I talked to Laura, and I said, there has to be some compensation in here, because again, the wear and the tear on the building, they're going to be taking up their parking, they're going to be taking, and I don't know if you still do it, but when I was involved with Minnelusahan years ago, we were charging for parking during events at the Civic Center. They're taking up that parking. I mean, there's a loss of revenue for them that they have to make up, in my opinion. So I'm very pleased with this. I think it's a good thing, and I'm going to support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Stroman, I got you on board.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to move to approve, and if I can get a second, retain the floor.
All right, we got a motion by Stroman with a second by Lehman. Was that you? Or Roberts?
Me.
All right, we're going to give it to Roberts. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Just briefly, I appreciate Mr. Larson and Ms. Armstrong working together to try to come up with a solution that I think benefits everyone. I think it benefits the Meals on Wheels program, and it benefits the Minnelusahan Center. It allows them to expand their reach, I guess, and the benefits that they can provide. And so, it seems to me like willing parties agreed on this, and I'm totally in favor of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Meyer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think being in the nonprofit space can be hard, and when we granted $60,000 to the Minnelusahan earlier, or it was last year, Laura said it's going to be a one-time thing, and I think this just adds that stability and sustainability of the financial operations, and so I think it's just making good on that. And I think being able to have that consistent income is a really great thing, and fundraising can be hard, and now we don't have to spend so much time doing the fundraising. You can do the work of running the center, so I am supportive of this. Thank you.
Yep. And I'll just commend both organizations, Meals on Wheels and Minnelusahan, for working together. I think this is a natural partnership. I think it makes a lot of sense. So thank you both. Councilor Seacrest, you popped in. Sorry about that. I wouldn't have said.
You're good.
Try to wait. All right.
Thank
Floor
you,
is yours.
Mr. Mayor. No worries. I also am just really supportive of this mutual agreement. I commend you both for working together and coming together to make this happen. I just had one question for Mr. Larson with the Meals on Wheels and the future of your organization, and having kind of a little bit of background in some of those struggles this last year with some of our funding shortages in the local community. Do you see this partnership being economically feasible for you and agreeable with the rates and everything as you've agreed upon?
Well, as any nonprofit, we always are looking to have as low of rates as possible, as opposed to going to the private market and taking over an empty restaurant or something like that. This is going to cost us half of what that would cost. Every $5 that we spend for anything is a meal that we can't serve the community. That being said, we have had some community members that have reached out and said, whatever you need to make sure this works, call me if you can't find another solution, and we'll make sure it works. The alternative to not making it work can't even be fathomed. 250,000 times every single year, someone is there at the door making sure someone is okay. And this partnership makes sure that Minaloosahan can continue succeeding in serving the seniors and veterans of this community, while Meals on Wheels that brings our equipment into Minaloosahan will make sure that that equipment not only is available to produce that 250,000 meals a year, but will be available for Minaloosahan then to use as a true commercial kitchen that they hopefully can charge a higher rate and have a community lead members for evenings and weekends to truly make this community even better through the programs that are going to be coming through Minaloosahan now that now can utilize the space for even more.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. Thank you for that clarification. I was just a little concerned with obviously a pretty substantial increase in your rate moving forward. I'm just really excited for the Minaloosahan. I am very appreciative of the efforts that have gone forward with just revitalizing the organization and keeping this going for our senior community and our population in general. So thank you both. Appreciate it.
Thank you for all you've done.
All right, the motion on the floor, excuse me, is to approve. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Thank you both. Now we will move on to the end of the consent items and on to the non-consent item 20. We will open public comment for non-consent item 20. I have no speaker request forms for that item, so we will close the public comment and move on to item 20. First reading of ordinance number 6705, an ordinance amending section 17.06 of the Rapid City Municipal Code, a request by FMG Engineering, Inc. for SHIP RC LLC for rezoning request from General Commercial District to Light Industrial District for property generally described as being located at 3980 Campbell Street. Got a motion by Tamang with a second by Seekers to approve. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to public hearing items 21 through 33, or 21 through 23. We will open the public hearing for items 21 through 23. I have no speaker request forms for those items, so we will close the public hearing for items 21 and 23 and move on to consent public hearing items 21 through 23. Do we have a motion to approve all the items, or would the council wish to pull any item? All right. Motion by Roberts with a second by Lehman to approve items 21 through 23. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. That takes us to the end of the consent public hearing calendar. We will move on to the bill list, and with that, we're going to go to Finance Director Daniel Ainsley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The bills tonight total $14,193,636.98.
Do you have a motion? All right, we got a motion by Meyer with a second by Maher to approve item 24. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Lehman with a second by Stroman to adjourn. All in favor? Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.